Inclusive and accessible spaces can help businesses to attract and retain employees and customers, increase efficiency and productivity, reduce the cost of individual adjustments, and become more sustainable, as well as ensuring legal compliance and enhancing their reputation within the community.
All the areas of diversity and inclusion, the world of disability is possibly the most complex, with the most moving parts and the most variable. So to have a group like BDF almost on speed dial, where we can say, look, we know this has come up, can you give us some advice, is enormously helpful to me and my team and practitioners as we move forward.
I am delighted to welcome to the virtual stage Simon Minty, Bianca Prince, and Rick Williams. So the first question for you all: should we say disabled people or people with disabilities?
My 3 reasons why I'm interested in language and disability. It affects me personally, the good stuff, the sometimes inappropriate comments, and the microaggressions as well. It is my work. This is another reason I advise and I help people navigate this. Internationally, this varies, different cultural approaches, different experiences, different individuals. And we do need to acknowledge that. There's a variety and different ways of viewing this. And my last interest is because I always think it should be the easy one. As in, once we've done this, we get on to the big stuff, the building design or the inclusive strategies or adjustments and so on. And yet this still is an issue and it remains a barrier sometimes for the not disabled people to engage with this as a topic because they're worried about getting it wrong.
Are you viewing people with a disability as customer, or are you looking at it from the disability perspective? That's one of the key questions which I found. And what I also found interesting in there is the difference in where you are in the world. We're a corporate organization, and what we find is that 90% of our markets actually uses people first language instead of identity first language.
I'm very pleased now to say that we're going to have a bit of a deeper dive into one area, which is access for all, creating inclusive built environments, which was a report that we released earlier this year in March, also sponsored by HSBC. So I'm delighted to introduce Rick Williams, who was on earlier this morning. So welcome back, Rick. And also Claudio Fiore Massens from PVH Core, which will be a couple of brands that I think you will be familiar with when he introduces himself. So welcome, Claudio, and over to you.
One of the challenges you have when you run conferences like this is that you have a tendency to get a load of people coming along and tell you how wonderful your life would be if only you did what they say. And of course, I've done my bit of that over the years. What I'm going to do today is something slightly different. I'm going to talk a little bit about the projects we've been working on at a strategic level and some of the challenges about working internationally.
The potential size of the market is crazy. Dan Lightfoot earlier mentioned that this market is basically the size of China, but we can think that 20% approximately of the population have a disability.
And of course, it's not just about setting a specification, an engineering standard for that environment. I think what's important is to provide a variety of spaces that work for more people, as you say, moving away from the one size fits all to create and maintain workplaces that work for more people.
Of course, what we're also trying to do is unlearn, really, because the way we design stores or experiences have been based on, the 185 centimeter white man who's tall and he's fully abled in every way. So whenever we work with designers, we have to really step out of what we're actually currently doing and trying to understand how can this design be more accessible.
And that's good, again, to highlight that this is something which we take seriously. And this is the experience in which we want for our customers to have as well, right? For them to be safe, to be supported.
Should non-disabled people be prevented from using the accessible toilets, and should they be reserved for disabled people? And if so, how?
What we're talking about is good design and management of real estate. So it doesn't matter whether we're doing that for any particular segment of society. We're doing it for everyone, and the principles of doing that are the same.
Think about algorithms and consumer experience, right? Everything wants it to be personalized. And it's interesting when you talk about accessibility, everyone's journey is a little bit different and unique. So we want to make sure that store and that experience caters to your needs specifically.
If you've got a wonderfully accessible third floor, but the route to it's not, it's pointless you having an accessible third floor.
I think you need to look at what training these designers and architects actually have, and what understanding do they have. Because if they don't get it right, people will assume that they know that, what is required for accessibility, what are the latest standards, and a lot of the time they don't actually know that. So it's not just about products, it's about the people you're bringing in to actually do the work.
And last but not least, thank you to everyone who's joined us today for coming and listening and participating. I really hope you've enjoyed it and found something that you can take away to put into practice in your own organisation. And I very much look forward to seeing you at our next event. Thank you very much.